on in the room. Come on in the room. Bucks win it tonight. 116-101 over the Boston Celtics. I believe we had a 5-game win streak coming into tonight. Third team in the East. Boston red hot. And here come your Milwaukee Bucks in the midst of all the turmoil, in the midst of all the discussion. I was told that Giannis was halfway to New York by now. That's what I thought. That's what they told me. Somehow he ends up on the bench. He's standing up the entire game, and the Bucks get a dub tonight. 116-101. Come on in the room. Yeah, let's do it. Doc is our doctor. He writes out all our scripts. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live at Cream City Crossover Groups.
JT.
Chris King.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's in the building tonight. Everybody's in the building on a dub. Come on in the room. Let's talk on the Twitter at On Your T's Q's 973. Let's talk on the YouTube in the chat. Get in here. Come on. And again, I think there was a lot made. I see some people in the chat. Will Lick was saying he was at the game. I saw that there was a lot of talk about the crowd and what it looked like. And I think it was a good point on the broadcast that Wesley Matthews made, and I believe Lisa made, where they talked about the fact this was a game that was not on the schedule previously, right? Like, this is a makeup game for not making the for not advancing in the NBA Cup. So for a game that was not previously on the schedule, good job for the crowd, Fiserv Forum, coming out. 4 days rest to go ahead and get this dub, and the Milwaukee Bucks took care of business. Let's do a game recap. Lot to talk about tonight. Some more Giannis stuff, obviously, but tonight's a good night. 116-101. Bucks get the win. Let's do a recap. Kyle Kuzma, 31.6 rebounds, 1 block tonight, 13 of 17. 77% from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He had 3 turnovers. Excellent job from Kyle Kuzma in 30 minutes of action. Ryan Rollins, a little bit of a rough night from him, but that's what I want to see from a Rollins. It was a rough night, but you hit a big-time 3 in the fourth quarter. I believe to put the Bucks up 14. They were up 11, kind of going back and forth for Boston. You hit a big-time 3, 10 points, 7 assists. He was 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Had 3 turnovers, 5 fouls. How about Miles Turner? 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. He was a plus 15. Mo to the. Gary Trent Jr. with 13 tonight. 2 rebounds. He gets the start. No AJ Green, 5 and 9, 3 and 6 from 3, plus 12 on the night. And how about KPJ? A triple-double. This is his first triple-double in the Milwaukee Bucks uniform? I believe so. 18, 10, and 13 assists. My goodness. 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 4 fouls. Somehow he was a -6. Kevin Porter Jr. was excellent tonight. Gary Harris got his cardio in. I hope he had his Apple Watch on so he could count those steps while he did whatever he did out there on the floor. 32 minutes of action, and he scored as much as all of us combined tonight. No points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Jericho Sims, 2 points. How about Cole Anthony doing a little hooping tonight? 9 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. And then your boy, BP, the mayor of Milwaukee, was back in town. 27 and 10. NYC Reigns says not. No, I said was it a no? Not the. Was it his first triple double in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform? That was what
he had one. He might have had one last year.
Okay, well, somebody give me some stat checks. I didn't know if he had triple double with the Bucks before, but maybe he did. Maybe he did. I will stand corrected if that's true. 27 and 10 from BP, 11 of 13, 84% from the field, 5 of 6 from 3. He was a plus 12. Him, Kyle Kuzma combined, it was 31 and 27 for what is that? 58 points. So again, that's a big night for Bobby Portis. Got into a hit. He was unconscious out there tonight, and I thought he looked really good. Let's look on the Boston side of things. Jaylen Brown, 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Jordan Walsh out there. It's a G.I. Jane joke. G.I. Jane 2. Jordan Walsh is out there, 20.6 rebounds, 3 steals. Kata, 9 points, 10 rebounds. Peyton Pritchard, 11.7 assists. Derek White, 11 points, 3 assists tonight. Hauser with 7 boards. Anthony Simons, I thought he was better than that. Maybe I didn't watch it. I thought he was better than that. I really did. He did not impress me at all. But all of it adds up to they're telling me he had a triple-double in the Bucks uniform before. Okay. 116-101, a victory from the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Listen, a little bit of what I saw before we turn this thing over. Listen, I thought offensively, you saw what you needed to see from Kyle Kuzma and Bobby Portis. And the question, and we'll get into it, obviously, how sustainable is this? Because, again, Kyle Kuzma was on a heater tonight. Bobby Portis was on a heater tonight. You had a bad Rollins game, offensively scoring the ball. Miles Turner, basically non-existent. KPJ did a little bit of it all, which is what we know he can do. But Bobby and Kuzma are not going to score like that efficiently. And even though Kyle Kuzma has been an efficient player scoring the ball this year, it hasn't been to that level. Like, he basically replaced Giannis's output with 31 points on a 13-17 shooting. You can't expect that. So, again, the question is, how do the Bucks stack wins? Again, we'll take it where you get it. And same with Bobby Portis. We've seen him come out. He's not 11 or 13 good, but he can be better than what we've seen him play this year. And tonight he came out and balled. He actually came out and hooped. But here's my thing that I like more than us putting up 116, getting up after being down 14 in the game and scoring, putting up shot for shot with Boston as they try to get back into the game. Defense, rebounding. And it felt like, I just looked at the numbers, it did feel like Boston got more rebounds. But they did not. Milwaukee won the rebound. I mean, again, I could probably count on one hand how many times the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe twice, I want to say, this year, they've won the rebounding battle. They won it 40-39 tonight. So they win. Not only did they win the rebounding battle, but you look at the three-point percentage for Boston, 28%. They go 14 of 49 from three. The Bucks were 13 of 29. And that's where you can make your mark. And it wasn't just that Boston went 14 of 49. They hooped from three in the first quarter in particular. Again, putting you down 14. So what I enjoyed and what I appreciated tonight from the Milwaukee Bucks, which, again, you can't control all the shots to go down. You can control your effort. You can control trying to get on the glass. You can control giving a damn on every single possession. And the Bucks look like a team that did that tonight. And that is what is, again, Kuzma can't put up 31 every night. Bobby's not going to put up high 20s every night. But can you stop teams from scoring? Can you not give up free lanes to the basket? Can you defend the three-point shot? Those are things. Can you rebound or at least give the effort? Those are the things that you can control. And that's what I appreciated from the Bucks tonight. One more. We'll do a super chat before I go to you, JT. Still a face with the super chat. Appreciate it. He says, absolutely no idea what to make of this team at this point. Bobby and Kuz have heart. Still think Giannis has played his last game. I disagree. He says ring chasing is pointless for the next couple. Nobody's beating OKC. And I disagree with that as well, Steelerface. I like your super chat. I appreciate it. I like your comments. I disagree on both premises that Giannis has played his last game. Again, did you see him tonight standing up cheering? I don't know he's played his last game. And then two, this notion that is, and again, this is why sometimes I hate Twitter, because they start running with things. It's like, oh, there's no reason to, and it started, I'm not saying you started here, but it started, one of the things I saw was, why would a team trade any big assets for Giannis when OKC's going to win it all? So why would you trade your young players? You think teams are just going to let OKC roll over and win it all? This OKC team, again, they went to 7 games against the Indiana Pacers. They went to 7 games against the Denver Nuggets. The 73-9 Warriors lost. Who everybody keeps comparing to how many wins, that team lost in the finals. So let's just slow. Again, I get it. Great season. They look unbeatable. Let's slow the roll on. They're just going to waltz through everybody because they didn't do it last season in the playoffs, and I don't think they will this time either. That's what I saw, though, JT. A good win from the Milwaukee Bucks, 116-101. That's what I saw. What you say?
Man, I saw something that's absolutely stupendous tonight. Let's talk about it. When you look at this team, we talk about this all the time. I say this. If we're going to get wins, especially with Giannis being out, it's got to happen in the aggregate, or essentially the sum of all moving parts. People are going to have to chip in and do their thing. And tonight, you saw different guys have eruptions all over this court. I'll give you an example. My man Gary Trent in that first quarter. We have 9-10 points in that first quarter. Gary Trent was leading the team in scorer after Q1. And you know what? It looked a little bit shaky from 3 for us in here. And it was like, oh, man, we're losing. Hey, we kept battling, right? Bobby Portis as well in that first half. He was, like you said, perfect from the field, 4 for 4 from the field. You said, wow, Bobby's hitting shots. Bobby's buckets. He only played like 11 minutes too. But what's Bobby doing in that second half? Comes out with 18 points in that second half. Bobby Portis. That's what you call putting this team on your back. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna carry whatever weight I got to right now. Let me go ahead. I'm not gonna let us lose. Kyle Kuzma. There was a 11 or 12-0 run in that third quarter. Kyle Kuzma had like 9 of those points. He was cooking after that first half. You just saw a team tonight fight, and you saw guys look like it wasn't so much. There's two ways to look at it. No, we didn't go belt to ass from the jump against Boston, but what we did was we refused to lose. And you had guys who just refused to lose, guys who got out there and fought and was like, no, I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna do my thing. And I absolutely love to see it. Significant contribution tonight from guys who we've been expecting all year, and it just goes to show you that this team is talented. They just got to find their footing. They got to figure this thing out. Now, our challenge isn't talent as much as consistency. I have no idea what the next game. We have no idea night after night. But when you look at the potential, you can see the potential there. I think this Bucks team, like we've always said, it's better than I think national media wants to give it credit for. I think the national media looks at the name, they're not really paying attention. But this Bucks team is better, and this is one of the things that I think is so maddening to Bucks fans. So many times we watch this team, we go, wow, we could do so much better, but for whatever reason, we are not. Is it a motivation? Is it effort? Is it just inconsistency? Do we look lethargic? And tonight you saw a lot of guys get out there and ball and show you what they got. And this is I think exactly what this team needed at this time, especially after this last week this team has had.
I think you get into the contributions, JT, and I agree. And this is a situation where I'm actually going to focus on the main guy that is keeping this thing moving, and that's KPJ. I talked about that, and I agreed with you, JT, about how, they've got to chip in around that guy. Look, he went, 27 points per game in his last 3 or something like that. And ultimately, we weren't getting the contributions elsewhere. You talk about that second Pistons game where he goes for 32 points and everybody else, literally everybody else, lays a stinker, and you lose that game, unfortunately. Even the Washington game that one night when he came back, and I think he had, 28, something like that, and they lost that game in a close one. It just shows me that this guy is really keeping this thing moving and getting our hopes up, honestly, like allowing us to have some optimism towards this basketball team, because you look at not only what he's doing scoring the basketball, but elsewhere, playmaking, setting guys up, getting the ball to Kuzma off the pick and roll, getting the ball to Kuzma in the corner, getting the ball to Bobby Portis on a mismatch. Like, he is opening up a ton for this offense. And then not only that, he's working so hard defensively. Trey, you mentioned it on Twitter, 94 feet defensively. He's getting 10 rebounds. Like, when we were having those rebounding issues in the beginning of the year and still having some night in, night out, but for us to win the rebounding battle and get 10 from a point guard or a shooting guard, whatever you want to call him, that obviously pays dividends. So him crashing the glass and then not only doing that, but being able to push the ball in transition, I feel like he's opening up a whole new realm for this basketball team, even with Giannis out, just allowing us to stay afloat in games, allowing us to win games that we otherwise might have expected to come in and lose. So I thought, look, he was phenomenal tonight, and he's been pretty phenomenal throughout the year, throughout how long he's came back for. And, yes, he's made some mistakes. Yes, he's had some turnover issues. But when you see a night like tonight, 13 assists, 3 turnovers, you take that every time. And he picks up the slack for when Ryan Rollins is having rough nights. And he's also, look, Cole Anthony, he's now opening up some more minutes for Cole Anthony to get in and not try to have to do too much. And that's why I think you saw Cole Anthony have a better game tonight. I'm not saying play Cole Anthony every night, play him all the time, but I do think there's some value in running those two guys out there because KPJ is undoubtedly better with the ball in his hands, and it opens up some things for Cole. So I honestly think that it's more of an indictment for me watching this game on man, how good is KPJ? How good can he continue to be? And will he reach that stardom that he was maybe supposed to reach before the incident happened? All signs point to yes for me. You're muted.
I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
We're out here like a Zoom in the.
I had to mute it. I was back here coughing. So they tried to go to KPJ, and they couldn't get the audio to work like me tonight. But Yeah, y'all thought this shit was gonna be gone forever. God damn it, we fucking back. I got my stuff back. Bobby back.
Oh, he
God,
faked
Bobby
it. Boy.
who's back? I'm gonna take my shirt off, pull my belt out on these. Where the hell Peyton Pritchard at? Where he at? Bring his bitch ass to the room.
Oh, wow.
God damn fool. Let's go. Doc started out, said that the comeback came in the second quarter. They kind of jumped on us, paused in the first quarter, but we made that run. We took away those threes in the third quarter, and we contested every single one of those threes. Hey, you got to arrive on the pass is what he told them the entire time we were off, and I thought they did a good job with that. Cole Anthony was phenomenal on defense, not offense. Bobby and Kuz carried us offensively, and the corner threes, and they attacked the basket. The basket is what Kyle Kuzma did, and I think that was his best game. We had one turnover in that comeback and 2 fouls, and that's how we corrected. And we also corrected the spacing. We needed Bobby, and Bobby wasn't forcing it tonight. He got to the right spots, and this was his best defensive game of the year. Ad-libbing a little bit. He instilled, because we always talk about how bad of a Coach Doc is. Doc instilled in these guys multiple effort drills. If you guys follow the Bucks on social media, you saw the one-on-one basketball, but he talked about how you had to guard the ball and then get out to the shooter. So a lot of guys just kind of standing around in all these losses in corners and stuff like that. But now we got a game up. We got another game coming up, and we got to repeat this same effort. Tomorrow they're going to do a film session, and they're not going to do a lot of running. Man, I'm so up tonight, man. First of all, I'm up just to have my voice back. I'm throwing shit everywhere in this hotel room. Sorry, JT paying the bill. We all right. Hey,
I gotta give Justice a ton of credit. I don't know if you guys know, he started that bit before we even got on, and so I was y'all in the chat saying he got me too. I was not.
All of us. I didn't know. I thought as well. You know what? It's so funny. I was like, yo, we can get this brother some tea. Like, I thought that person. Justin, you got us all, man. So,
I spilled my tea, but we all good.
That's pretty good.
We don't pay the bill. Hey, man, I just saw a lot of great effort tonight, though, man. Like, this is the type of stuff this basketball team is going to need to do without Giannis on the floor. Giannis will be back on the floor. I don't think it's his last game as a Buck. I couldn't really eloquate my thoughts to the level that I wanted to. But my point was, just so we could clarify one thing. Never mind. We're not even gonna bring this up. Giannis ain't getting traded.
You know, I'm assuming later on we'll have a bigger conversation about Giannis. I don't want to take away from what these boys did tonight. Right now, y'all want to keep talking about this, right? Like because you got to give them credit for the way they fought and battled back tonight against, like Trey said, the red hot Boston Celtics. Especially when things were looking a little bit bleak for a little while too, and they turned around and put their foot on their necks, and that's what I'm talking about.
Side note, I'm sorry. Side note, I don't care what I said. It is stupid as hell to go for 2 down 8. I don't. I guess I don't know what the hell's going on this new age stuff. I'll never understand it. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I guess there is enough time, but it's 8 minutes. There's no why are you checking? I don't understand it. You're down 8, going for 2 is crazy to me. I don't understand it.
How much time left in the game? Sorry,
there's 8 minutes left, so I would give them that they have time to make it up. But I'll never be a fan of going for 2 down 8. I don't get that one. I get it. Maybe like I said, math isn't my strong subject, so I get analytics, all that. That one's stupid to me. But anyway, I agree with JT. Let's keep rolling on this team and what these guys did, because again, we can talk Giannis in a second, but the reality is on Sunday evening when they play the Brooklyn Nets, Giannis will not be there again, and so they're going to have to replicate this win. They had to replicate this victory, some of the things that they did, and let's talk about them. And I think that the other thing the Bucks have to do, and I think some people talked about in the chat, maybe at least I saw it on social media, is like, how do you judge this team? Like, what is this team? This is a hilarious basketball team, because one day you can come out and look like world beaters, and the next you look like absolute trash, even within the game tonight in that first quarter. And I saw some Steeler faces talking about he says hard to tell if our defense was better or if the Celtics were ice cold, same way we beat OKC in the Cup. And I honestly think the defense was better. I think it's probably a little bit of both. I'm not going to say Boston shouldn't have hit some of the shots that they did hit, But in that first quarter, if you go back and look at it, some of those threes were wide open. And I thought the defense, Wesley Matthews talked about it on the broadcast. By the way, I do think Wesley Matthews is getting a little bit better in the booth. He's still got to work on how boring he is. But as far as just the actual analyzing of the game, I think he does a solid job. He just got to figure out how to get his spots and everything like that. And I thought Tom Crean was good as well when he came in for a few moments. But Wesley Matthews talked about it. And, again, they just defended on the ball better. And I get it. You know, Rollins had 5 fouls. Porter Jr., 4 fouls. Cole Anthony, 5 fouls. Kuzma had 3 fouls. Like, to me, that just showed me. We talk about KPJ was going 94 feet, but there were moments where Kyle Kuzma was going 94 feet on Jaylen Brown. Again, he had a bad foul to end the half, in the first half, but I just appreciated the effort that we got guys that are willing to start in the backcourt and get in the defensive stance and shuffle their feet in the backcourt. Garrett Harris had one where, I don't know if it's like off a rebound, but you're just sticking your hand in there and trying to create an extra possession. Same thing with Cole Anthony. Like you have to have people that are willing to do that kind of stuff and doing the dirty work. And again, I just appreciate the fact that they were up in guys' faces and forcing some of those misses. And Boston struggled. And now everybody knows Boston's MO. They're going to shoot the 3 ball. And as long as you're going to miss, it was fine. But the biggest thing for the Bucks was keeping that scoreboard moving. And you're right, Chris. You're talking about KPJ and just how he does everything. And I got to give Doc Rivers a little bit of credit. How many on-ball double high screens, elevator screens did we see from Kuz and Miles Turner or Bobby and Miles or whoever it was that were coming up setting a double high screen for KPJ to get downhill? Like, we saw some more of that, some more actions. And again, maybe some of that, maybe you don't see all of that due to what Doc maybe feel are some imperfections from some of the players. But he clearly has a lot of trust in the shiftiness and the decision-making of KPJ. He gives him the basketball and lets him go to work. And when the turnovers are cut down, KPJ just makes a lot of really good decisions, one of which was noticing how hot Bobby Portis was. And there was a 3 he could have taken. He jumped in the air. It's like, you know what? Bobby's hot. Let's get it to him. And it was a 3 KPJ absolutely should have taken. But he gives to Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis knocks it down. So, again, knocking down open shots and doing what you're supposed to do defensively. And I'll say one more thing about Miles Turner. I'm not even going to get on him. He only had 3 rebounds tonight, right? Honestly, I don't think it was lack of effort. Like, I did think I saw him try to get rebounds. It didn't happen, but I saw him out there giving the effort. And, again, I think when people are giving effort, it's infectious. And tonight was just one of those nights. Talk about KPJ with 10 boards. Bobby had 10 boards as well. Kuzma had 6 rebounds. It's the gang rebounding and everybody finding a role and finding a spot, putting a body on somebody. I thought the Bucks did a really, really good job tonight all around.
Yeah, well, they certainly did. And I would say that, to me, it's just like looking at how backbreaking it is to watch a team get on a cold streak like that. Yeah, I know. Pause. Get on a cold streak like that and finally feel like you are wasting their energy. You're making them work for it. You are rebounding. It's one and done. You're on the other end and you're making those shots, right? Like, that is what I think turned the tide in this basketball game, and that came in the fourth quarter immediately to create some distance, right? Like, they go on that cold streak of 16 straight missed threes, and the Bucks are putting them down, and then that's why when you see that lead balloon up to 20 points, and I think that was the real turning point, just making sure that we were able to secure rebounds on the defensive end and then make them pay on the opposite side. So that was my biggest takeaway from just the effort as a whole. We were able to create devastating possessions defensively and then turn them into even more devastating possessions by making the shots at the other end.
I thought in the first quarter that ball was sticking a lot. We saw a lot of over dribbling by Ryan Rollins and KPJ. But then we started moving the basketball. I thought Boston did a great job in that first quarter and half of the second quarter, and that's why they got so many open shots. And I think that I don't know if it was Doc, I don't know if it's Jaeger, I don't know if it was Vin Baker, I don't know if it's Darvin Ham, but we started moving the basketball and we got much better shots. This team has to move the basketball to get good shots. I think there's a lot of talent still here. Are we the best team in the
Did we lose?
He's not themselves on me getting my voice back. But this team has a lot of talent, and there's a lot left still to play for this team. And don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised. We beat Brooklyn, and then let's see what happens after that. 34 will be back soon.
Let me ask y'all a question. Is it reasonable to say, and I say this based on look at how we started, especially those third and fourth quarters. Is it reasonable to say that tonight we saw probably the most fight that we've seen out of this team all year? I know there was the Golden State win when Giannis was out early in the season. What was that, like one of the first few games as well? But looking at just the fight, the effort, the intensity, the will that this team showed tonight collectively, you think this is the most fight we've shown all season?
I think it's between that and it'd be the Detroit game too. But yeah, I think tonight was definitely one of the nights. Again, especially when you go down 14 early and you find a way. And I think it was the Detroit game they were down 17. Was that game or was it another game? There was another game.
Yeah,
something like that. So yeah, probably one of those two games is what I would say. But there was a lot of fight tonight, 100%. And just to go back to the point I was making about the fouls and playing defense, even Shepard had a good point on his pod where he was basically talking about how officials will let more things go based upon what they see. And so if you only have one guy who is playing aggressive defense, it's much easier for them to see, wow, the intensity's ratcheted up, that's a foul. Versus if there are 5 guys out there flying around defensively and everybody's playing hard. And I think that's why you think about OKC, who gets away with a lot of fouls and they don't call it. Indiana in the playoff gets away with a lot because everybody had that level of intensity. And I think the fouls will go down as the Bucks play with much harder intensity all over the floor, because if everybody's doing it, it's hard to call a foul on every single thing. But again, the Bucks tonight, to your point, JT, I think they played. Again, I get Boston was missing shots. The Bucks played a lot harder than Boston tonight, 100%.
And quite honestly, that feels good to say. Hey, we just outplayed, like we just hustled. We out hustled. We talked so much. We've preached all through this show of, where's the hustle? Where's this? Where's that? And tonight they had it. So let's hope they can build on something, right? I don't want to see the 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Let's hope they can build on it and bring it. And look, you may not win on Sunday, but what you want to see is effort. You want to see process. You want to see, you can't always control the outcome, but you certainly can control the input. So, man, I really would like it if this team could build on that, especially with everything going on. And they, like you said before, there are a lot of guys on this team that can play. When we started this season, we were optimistic about this Bucks team because of these guys who we've seen play. We didn't just hear about them. These guys who we've seen play. And again, I would have never thought. Would you have ever thought a week ago, 2 weeks ago, you could play Boston down 16 or 4, whatever that number was, and come back without Ryan Rollins having a great game, without Miles Turner having a great game? You just wouldn't have thought that would have been possible. You'd have thought you got to get it from one of those two. And tonight you saw Kyle Kuzma say, man, here's 30. I'm putting 31 on your head. Here.
Well, so go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, well, I was just going to add that, like, we're also missing AJ Green, who was a game time decision, went out there, warmed up, and just called off. So, to me, I think that's super encouraging as well, allowing those guys that are kind of at the end of the bench to get in and make a little bit of an impact, and the guys can feed off of that. And then also kind of getting Gary Trent some amount of confidence back. We need that. We need Gary Trent to at least shoot the ball well, because outside of that, what else does he provide? Not much, right? Unless he's defending hard, but even sometimes that gets shaky. So, like, you need to have that confidence for those other guys to step up, because I know AJ Green has been a premier 3-point shooter for this basketball team, and so getting those looks to other guys and seeing them go in, I think that'll be huge for us. And then, I would say this, 40 to something happened in the Thursday night game, Trey?
Mooney sucks, man. Oh, they got the ball back. He fumbled the game. Just sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, I'll just say this. It was. We did win the rebounding battle. I still see opportunities to improve on the glass. Like, even if we won the rebounding battle tonight, I still see offensive rebounds from the opposite side, and I think just being able to weather that storm tonight and still win the rebounding battle, even though there are still things to fix, I think that's all relatively encouraging.
Hey, JT, let me answer your first question. From my perspective, this is the biggest Bucks win of the year. This is the best one just because of all the obscurity going on in the air about Giannis. This team could have tucked their tail and been like, you know what? And then we're down 14 on top of all the Giannis talk. And they found a way to rise above it. I got a lot of faith in these guys and this core of guys that we have. I think that Miles may not be producing the way that we want him to offensively, but I feel like he's a good leader. And if you listen to a lot of the pregame stuff, they talked about that stuff. And yeah, he didn't rebound the ball well defensively, but there were a few possessions where he kept offensive stuff alive.
I get yes. I will agree that he has been a great leader and voice in the locker room. Your play has to match that production. That's all. His play has not matched the production. Go ahead. I'm just saying his play has not matched that production, and that's what I want to see on both ends, offense and defense.
Well,
what you always say, got to play to the front of your card and the back of your card.
well,
Got to play to your back of your card.
well, it's like
to the back of his card.
You know, I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan, right?
Sure.
Football, right?
Yeah.
Big time. So it's like a Michigan Wolverine is coming. Too soon?
Sharon. Oh,
Yes.
Sharon. We're going to get you out here and look around for Sharon.
Yeah.
Like a damn fool.
Hey,
Oh,
no,
Sharon.
I am really excited about a lot of the stuff that I saw tonight. And I really do believe that this thing, like, look, man, if you ain't do the Jair, if you ain't put your seatbelt on, you might not want to be on this ride because it's a roller coaster. We're going to go up and down. But I think the most important thing is to beat the Brooklyn Nets now. You got to beat the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
And JT, you asked one other question. You said, who would have thought without Ryan Rollins playing, would they won this basketball game?
No Miles Turner.
Right. And if they call you what they call me, they call you delusional if you thought that. But maybe come a little bit into this delusion and you'd be a lot happier in life. I want to see what the Wisconsin kid got to say on Twitter. That brother got to be happy tonight. If he not happy tonight, he got to change his name to the Grinch on Twitter. Sorry.
Man. You know, it's one of those things where, I think, did he get that? Let me touch that.
Who you rooting for tonight?
You know I'm going for them Birds, man. Yeah, that's touchdown. Okay. Now, it's 20. It's about to be 28-26. They had to go for 2 since they down 2 right now. They could be kicking an extra point to get a tie. Or they can go for 2 and be up and try and get the win, but they got to go for 2 now.
Who just scored?
Atlanta. Yeah, I'm going. Oh, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts had a 3rd touchdown.
Oh, is that 3 for him? Yeah, he just scored. But and by the way, I'm going for him because if Atlanta wins, Carolina's first in the South. So
we need that Packers rematch. Let's go.
I welcome Rico in Lambeau. But yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, on Miles Turner, he just got to play better. He has to. There's no way around it. I appreciate all the discussion and all the talks that he's having. Again, I totally agree from how he is being a vocal leader in the locker room. It's there. But it's me. Mickey One says we're not paying him $130 million to be a leader, but suck at basketball. And there was somebody else who said it here. Young City 4241 said the Pacers started 10-15 last season and went to the finals. I'm not going to lose faith in the Bucks. It's too early. And again, I'm not saying they're going to go to the finals, but we've talked about that very stat before and about how slow the Pacers started. And it was around New Year's when they really started to pick it up. And who knows? Again, the Bucks should get Giannis back here in a couple of weeks or so. Let's see where we are and let's see if we pick it up. I am again of the mindset that this has not been Giannis' last game. I just don't think. I think it's gonna be too hard to facilitate a trade. I really do, but I don't think that's how the Giannis era ends in Milwaukee. I just don't.
No way. There's no way. And I think if you look at how he went down in that injury, if you hadn't been paying attention to Giannis, you would think, okay, maybe there's some shenanigans going on down here because it was kind of weird how we went down with the Cavs. But we all know Giannis even said it. He plays through injuries. He would always play through no. There's no faking an injury here. I do think Giannis is legitimately injured, and I certainly think that no, this era doesn't end now. Personally, I don't think you move him until after the season. I just don't. And I don't see a trade happening during the year. I think a trade happens after the season.
What happens if the Bucks if the Bucks advance, let's say go to the second round? I don't know that he gets again. I think he just wants to win. So the Bucks show that you can win. You never know how this ends. All right, Atlanta's going for 2 here. Let me just see how this.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I
just don't know. I'm not convinced. I mean, granted, look.
Did they put their running back in to run a 2-point play, or did they go with the quarterback?
Kirk got they didn't. They ain't pull
That's who they should have put the running back in the running for Kirk Cousins. Sorry,
he basically got hit as he threw it and damn it threw a pick.
How much time we got left?
3 minutes and they're down 2. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why teams are going for 2 up 8 down 8. I'll never. That is dumb to me. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. But anyway, sorry, JT. Go ahead.
You're good, man. You're good. No, I just think that I don't think that's how this era ends either. I think and we can kind of elaborate on this too. But I think the best move for the Bucks is to wait till after the season, and then if you're going to move him, you move him then. I don't think you move him during the season, even though I would say that maybe there are a few teams who would say, let's offer him a haul now so we don't have to compete with the rest of the league trying to figure out what's going on. But again, the best move for John Horst is to do what's best for the Bucks. And it looks like at this point, unless there's something that we don't know going on, the best move, if Giannis, provided if he does not want to be here and he wants to be traded, would be to hang on to him through this year and then move.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do as well. I just don't know that again, I think there's a lot of things that we don't know as far as what's actually happening behind the scenes. So let's talk about the Giannis, the new information. Which again, the other thing the funny thing that I've noticed about all what did you say, Justin? You wanted to?
I'm sorry, just one quick second.
Go ahead.
What's his name? Steal Your Face 21.
Yeah.
Comment of the year. I just want to get. Because if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan and you know the homie Freeway, we need to get Freeway on the cast, dog. If Freeway's a brother that when the Bucks were the worst team in the NBA, he'd tell me, I want a win streak and I want it real bad. And I cannot do the voice or anything like that. He says we need a damn winning streak real bad, like Freeway would say. That comment of the year for me, man. Milwaukee legend, Marquette legend, Milwaukee Admirals legend, Milwaukee Brewers legend. Just Google Freeway Milwaukee Bucks. If you don't know who he is, welcome to the club. Hey, shout out to you, Steal Your Face.
Yeah, no, they do need a win streak bad, 100%. But let's talking about Giannis. And the funny thing I would say about Giannis is, and about all the conversation, is one of the main. What I notice is there's more discussion and more chatter around trade destinations, possible trades, issues with the team, and what people are saying. Was there a meeting, tension, all this kind of, versus, again, what I thought was maybe one of the biggest points, which I can't remember who came out and said it, but that the Bucks are not even taking calls on Giannis. They have that Giannis not only, again, we got it from Wendy after he lied and said that Giannis requested a trade. He went back and said Giannis did not request a trade. Then the other report we got that nobody's really talking about because it's more of a positive or speaks to Giannis potentially staying. The other report was the Bucks are not taking calls on Giannis right now. So he's not even in the discussion. Again, we'll know what discussions they're having on the back channels, but there are no conversations between other teams in the Milwaukee Bucks as of now. Now, the other development that came out, I think, was, and I just don't remember what we had since the last time we had a show, but I believe you had Shams come out and say, maybe we talked about this before, but again, this whole piece about Giannis' agent working potential backdoor. Shams then says that that there's tension on the team of which KPJ came out and essentially refuted. And then you had Chris Haynes come out and say that Giannis met with team members and basically told them to focus on basketball. Then, of course, you have the report that Giannis buys a rental unit of some sort, a property in New York. And you had these rumors that come out and say, well, Giannis would potentially go to the Miami Heat. There's so much stuff coming out. And I think, again, you get further and further from the source. And I think sometimes it kind of turns into mush because, again, JT, if you can write something about Giannis, it gets and garners clicks. And so it is hard to figure out. And I guess I'll round table here and ask you guys what at this point do you believe versus what do you not believe? And again, the other thing that's interesting, unless somebody has heard differently, we still have not heard from Giannis directly outside of the conversation he had with Chris Haynes, where again he said, Chris. Well, no. So I don't know if that was Chris secondhand because Chris Haynes said that he spoke to Giannis.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so we're hearing, we're not hearing.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But it's different than like Sham says. Sources say Chris Haynes says I talked to Giannis, and Giannis said, whatever it was, the quote about I'll run through a wall when the going gets tough, blah blah blah. And but then he always leaves it off with, well, I don't know. He gives the Lane Kiffin story of I don't know, what's going on behind closed doors, which again we do know is it's just not true. So I guess I'll leave it there. What do you believe? What do you not believe? How do you feel about things at this point?
I hate to say this, you can't trust a single person right now. You can't trust anything coming out of Sham's mouth. You can't trust Chris Haynes. Okay. You can't trust Doc. Oh, I don't know anything about this. You can't trust Giannis because I don't know about you. Okay, no, somebody's not telling the truth here, right? And I think here's the thing about Giannis that makes this a bit more. This is what I do think based off my own what I've seen here is true. I think Giannis likes the guys in that locker room. I think Giannis likes the guys, and I think he likes his team. But here's one thing I've learned. Hey, there's a lot of dudes who love their girlfriend, but they still outside, right? It is what it is. There's a lot of dudes who love their girlfriend, but they are still outside. So I guess what I'm saying is that you can't read too much into anything until you are actually told that from the source, because Giannis out there tonight was hyped for his guys. He's cheering, he's doing this, and maybe he's just that type of teammate where, look, hey, we on the same squad. I'm cheering for y'all until I'm not. I'm cheering for y'all until I'm not part of this team, right? We have no idea what he's doing behind the scenes. We do not. But I go back to the report in the summer. I can't get clarity on whether or not there were actual trade discussions with the Knicks, whether or not he actually said, I would be willing to go to the Knicks or not, because nobody's confirmed this, right? I have no idea. Once I have clarity that, yes, I heard his comments where he's like, well, I'll reserve, I'm here for the next 6-7 months. I reserve my thought and left it open. I hear that too. If the story about the Knicks in the summer was true, and he was considering that, or there were conversations about that, then I do think, yeah, there's a chance. Okay, so he's already made it clear at some point that he would be willing to leave. I think at that point, during the year, maybe that follows suit if this team does not do well. But I still think for some reason, and this is me, maybe I'm an optimist, maybe I just need more information. I still think that what happens on the court this year 100% has the ability to dictate what happens with this team next year. As far as, is Giannis in a Bucks uniform? Is he not in the Giannis in a Bucks uniform? I think the team performance can still has a chance to influence this thing. That's just my opinion based on how this is going now. What do we know? What's going on behind the closed doors right now? I have no idea, because nobody's really being that forthright. But I would imagine that if this team pulls it together and they start really competing night in and night out, I think maybe that can influence what happens in the future with Giannis in the Bucks uniform.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. I would echo those same sentiments, but I also think that this one kind of feels a little different. Like the amount of reports coming out, how many teams are reportedly interested, or maybe there might be mutual interest somewhere, or if that doesn't work, then Giannis might want to go to Miami. And this one seems a little different than previous reportings that we've obviously have had to cover for a couple of years at this point. So that's where my one concern would come, because it seems like when these type of things come out and these things like continuously happen throughout the year, it seems like it's almost inevitable for these things to eventually go through, right? And a trade to actually happen. And I think you get that sense from Bucks fans on Twitter. Like, you look at Twitter and you see some of the fans already looking towards a potential rebuild or looking forward to thanking Giannis for his time and getting on. And I'm not saying that's the majority of Bucks fans, but you see some of those takes now surfacing on Twitter. So I can't blame him for it. But I also think, JT, I think you're right. I think there is room to salvage at least this year as a Buck for Giannis, because how could you not think that when you see Giannis on the bench cheering for his teammates? How could you not see that when KPJ has only played, 2.5, maybe 2 full games with Giannis this year, and he goes for a triple-double with the ball in his hands tonight, and he's been averaging 27 across 3 games. Like, you really haven't seen that come into fruition yet. So I think that there is some room for this whole thing to be salvaged, at least for this year. But I will say I do share the concerns that a lot of Bucks fans probably have at this point, due to just the amount of reporting and contradicting of the Bucks organization, and then other sources maybe getting out there. I don't know, but it just seems like all of the reporting can make Bucks fans nervous, and it would make me nervous a little bit.
I'm nervous. Welcome to the Unk seat. I'm nervous because we've never seen anything like this in Milwaukee. But then I took a step back today and I wondered, when Kobe Bryant was going through his stuff, if Twitter was the way it was, because remember when Kobe was going through it, he was at the infancy of Twitter. We were at the infancy of Facebook. We were in a Black Planet generation. Christine, I know you don't know nothing about Black Planet, big dog.
Ooh, we calling it the BET Uncut days. Wake up at 2 a.m., BET Uncut, and then a little church afterward. Yes, sir.
If you go to sale, if you go to hip hop sales, it was Nelly, Jay-Z, and Eminem. Pick your top 3 for sales. If Kobe was in this era, when Kobe was going through his turmoil with the Lakers, would it be magnified like this? I kind of feel like that.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to say I'm concerned, but I said this before with a baby voice, with a Doc Rivers voice, right? Shout out to the chat. Y'all killed me, deservedly so. God darn, man. Like, I feel like I lose my voice once a season and turn into Doc. I feel like Giannis is going to be a Buck until Giannis says he's not a Buck. And I see the cryptic stuff, and I see this, and I see that. And Chris, you're right. It does concern me. But then I realize Giannis didn't grow up here. Like, he doesn't know this type of stuff.
Giannis is very integral. I'm not gonna let him off the hook here, because Giannis sees all this stuff. Giannis got the same damn internet you got. Hang on, no. We're not gonna play these games here, right? And here's what I mean by that. Giannis seems to be a guy who is very all about his image, right? It's not quite Russell Wilson level, but no. There's some image work done here, Giannis. What we call brand management. There is 100% some everything that he does. And this is a guy who's careful about what he says, careful about what he does, and wants to come off a certain way and wants to do all that. And he sees this stuff coming out, and he could damn well put it into it this season by coming out and not being ambiguous, coming out and clearly stating it now. Trey and everybody's like, well, he's already addressed this. No, like Chris said, there seems to be a hell of a lot coming out here, and everything can't be a complete lie. And then you got ambiguous statements in here. You're either all in or you're all not, and Giannis is not doing it. Giannis is saying absolutely nothing. He's tweeting stuff on Instagram. He's doing this, but he knows damn well everybody's paying attention to what it is you're saying and doing right now. And it does seem like he's at least comfortable with this speculation and everything. I get it. He told the locker room. What did he tell him? Oh, okay, now I'll tell you, here's what's weird. Did you see that thing KPJ the other day say, oh, yeah, Giannis told us block out all the noise. Giannis met with the team, or whoever said that. What Kyle Kuzma come out and say?
Well, hold on. No. Well, hold on. What I think, again, if you listen to Kyle Kuzma, What I think Kuzma said was, and again, I think it was just the way the report came out. Because the report came out was Giannis met with the team, right?
Yeah.
I think what Kuzma was basically saying was, well, no, there wasn't a big sit down, because if you admit what he said was, it wasn't like the printed, it was on. And again, this is what I think happens with all these reports. Everything gets over dramatized. There was a meeting. Again, I'm told.
It sounds like it wasn't no meeting. It sounds like he made just like, hey, don't worry about it. Don't block it off.
Yes, it sounds like it's what. Yeah, well, what we do know is it sounds like he does a lot of. He's in the group chat often, and so it could have been something easy like that. Hey, fellas, y'all go hoop. Don't worry about this. We good. And somehow that gets turned into Giannis met with the team, and yeah. And so I think Kyle Kuzma was like, yeah, we ain't sit down. We didn't have no big meeting. This wasn't The Apprentice. Like, what meeting are you talking? Like to me, if somebody said you had a meeting, I'm like, I don't know if we have a meeting. Like send a text message. It's not a meeting. We have a group chat. I wouldn't say it's not a meeting when somebody says something in there. So that's what I think also, JT, happened when you talked about what happened over the summer with the Knicks thing. Like, I think it was over dramatized. I think something happened. But do I think that it was this big, we're going to Knicks? The call for the Knicks could have that whole exclusive negotiating window, they could have had one call and be like, yeah, you ain't got nothing for us, click, and that's it. And it says, he wanted, I'm just saying, I just don't know based upon all that we've heard. And what I do know is I just feel like a lot of things are over dramatized.
Well,
JT, let me push back on you for a second, because I heard you and I received you, my brother. Because I gotta, that's what I be learning and stuff.
Well, so my God.
However, when I said Giannis isn't like us, I mean he didn't grow up in this stuff here, and he tries to be careful with his words. He tries to be coached by a lot of these guys here, but I truthfully believe he's not as keen as what he leads on to be. And I do believe he wants to be in Milwaukee. Because if you don't want to be in Milwaukee, unless he got the greatest PR coach in the world, I'm not on that.
He clearly doesn't. His PR coach, whoever does PR him is terrible.
Thank you. So I think Giannis really wants to be here, and he really wants to win for this city. If you look at everything he says in the totality about guys jumping ship and stuff like that, and I don't think he owes the Cream City crossover anything. I don't think he owns the Cream City crossover chat anything. I don't think he owns our Twitter anything. I don't think he owns Bucks fans anything. He's here, and it's Milwaukee on the front of his shirt. And by what he's given my city, I got to take his value for what it is. Now, if he does something different, and this is what I was trying to say when I had no voice, hey, dog, I ain't with that. Some of y'all in the chat, some of y'all on the Twitter, hey, man, I hope Giannis does well. Nah, dog, I hope you don't. I hope you suck. I hope you lose. I hope you don't win when I ain't have no voice. That's what I was trying to say. I hope you take your ass to Greece and you hoop for Greece and you come up short every NBA playoffs if you're on another team. But if you're on my team, I hope you take us to that promised land. And I think he will. And I think he will. I'm going to go ahead and put 100 on him. I think he will this year.
You put 100? Wait, hold on. Clarify this. You trying to put 100 on what?
He taking us to the promised land this year. So DraftKings, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever one of you betting apps want to sponsor us, first one that sponsors us, I'm going to put a double 100 on this shit. I'm going to put 200 on the Bucks to do it. Giannis could come back healthy. KPJ would be an all-star if he wasn't hurt. We up.
You want to put 2 bands on that?
200. I ain't sleeping on your couch, bro. I got to go 200. Chris King ain't going to let me sleep on this couch because I'm a Marquette fan. He said I got to sleep outside in the snow.
We do have – let me just get a development here. Kirk Cousins has driven the Atlanta Falcons down the field.
Let's go.
It is 28-26. Zane Gonzalez is running on like the closer. Got a close-up cam on him.
Play that music.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it would look like. 4 seconds left. Mike Evans is throwing a tantrum on the sideline, and this is for the dub and to give the Panthers sole possession of first place in NFC South. Timeout, Tampa Bay.
Here's what I'll say, Justin. I think I can see the argument of saying, well, he doesn't owe us anything too. But I got to tell you, it's very hard to say, I'm so Milwaukee, I'm so team, I'm so this. If you let this continue to persist and you continue to say nothing as more and more stuff comes out here and you just completely ignore it, at some point, because even if you care about the guys in the locker room, and maybe there are conversations in the locker room we don't know about. Maybe people are staying tight-lipped about this within that. Maybe it doesn't bother his guys. But I would just assume as a reasonable person at some point, especially if, let's say we go back to a losing streak. Let's say that we go back to that. And then there's all this speculation here about you not wanting to be here. More and more reports coming out. Yeah, you can't. The whole nothing to see here. Oh, what? I never heard any of that. Nah, bro. You have to come out and at least affirmatively say, I'm in Milwaukee for the rest of the season, and I would not want a trade anywhere else. I want to finish the season. You're going to have to say something at some point. But there's no way.
Why?
You can't play the ambiguity again.
Why? Why I gotta say that? I gotta say that for all the other fan bases. I don't have to say nothing.
I think you would need to say that. At least you need to say that to your team. At the minimum, you would have to say that to you. And maybe I'm not saying that he has. I'm saying, but no, you're gonna have to address some of this stuff. I think head on, and I do think at some point during the season, you're probably Giannis can't just not say. Here's the thing, Justin. You're not going to be able to do this two ways. You're not going to be able to try to potentially force your way out and keep your image. It's not going to happen.
Nope. Will not happen.
You're not going to be able to play this game. And that's – I'm assuming that's important to him. If you do want to leave, I still want to keep this image with Milwaukee fans. No. The longer and the more this stuff festers and go out, the more you start waffling a little bit, the more people start picking up on the stuff you're doing and the way you're dancing around questions, not directly addressing head on. That's going to sour you to some of the fans in Milwaukee. And listen, you don't owe the fans in Milwaukee anything, but you certainly kind of act like you want to be revered in a way with the fans of Milwaukee and this loyalty and this brand and preaching that. So listen, brother, two things can occupy the same thing. Like I said, you can love your girl and still want to be outside. But what you can't say is that you're loyal if that's the case.
Never mind. Hey, Jay, just one thing. Hey, you're right. He can't toe the line. I will agree with you on that. He cannot toe the line. At some point, he has to face the fire. But as long as that team tonight did not look like a team that had nothing to play for. Giannis is gone, all doom and gloom.
Oh, yeah,
no matter when he leaves, it's gonna be ugly on what he tried to create. So if you leave, it's bad. And one last thing, Monicure. No one, it's not one win and people done lost their mind. I just got my goddamn voice back. So we up. Shit.
Yeah, I think all those things are true. And again, I definitely agree with you, JT, where it's not going to work. Giannis thinking that he can. You're not going to come out again. If you leave, let me just say, you leave Milwaukee, you're not coming out as the good guy. I don't care how graciously you tried to, which is also why I don't think it's going to work. Not say I don't think it's going to work, which is also why he's so, I don't know if you call it nice or what. I just don't see him going to John Horst and saying, hey, I want to be in New York. I want to be in because you create that tension with the front office. And I don't think he has it in him to do it. Everything is always like, again, can he soft launch a trade or what? I don't think he's got it in him to go up and say, look, I don't want to be here anymore. Send me to place X, because again, he that brand, everything about it, it's just gonna be too much to handle. I just don't see him doing it. I think he can do it.
I look at it the other way. I look at it like if he really doesn't want to be here, John Horst has to do everything he can for this club, everything he can for the Bucks. But maybe, just maybe, does it become a bit more of a collaborative approach? Does it become here's a list of preferred destinations or places that I would entertain. And if John, listen, if you want to look elsewhere, I got to get value for you. So let's go ahead and just make sure we have this understanding. I have to get value for you. I can't just let you walk away. I can't let a top 20 player of all time just walk out of here in his prime. Like you said, like we were talking about on the phone earlier, the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis thing. Absolutely not. I got to get appropriate value for you, market value for you too. I think they're going to have to collaborate. I do. I mean, maybe so. Maybe it does become a mutual discussion. Listen, the media spin on this is going to be crazy anyway, because I bet it becomes a mutual decision to whatever, because he does not want to look like the bad guy.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure it will come out like that. It's never gonna. It's just not going to stick with the fan base, because we know the Milwaukee Bucks. If Giannis never said, "Hey, I want to leave," or "I'm thinking about leaving," the Bucks would never trade him. If Giannis today came out, and I don't care if the Bucks were lose every single game for the rest of the year, if Giannis said, "Hey, if you guys will sign me to a max deal, let's do it," the Bucks would do it in a heartbeat. So yeah, I totally disagree. If he thinks that he's gonna find a way to come out even neutral in this, it's just not gonna happen. We get final thoughts here, because we got to keep going. Again, this is going to continue to play out. Obviously, we get final thoughts, and then we'll go to Twitter and get the game balls.
My final thought on this is that I do think, to an extent, winning can quiet everything. So you let these boys get hot for a little while. You let these boys get hot. Let them start putting it together. Let them pull up 15-15. Let them get to be 500. Let them get some momentum going, and then let's see where the story goes. Right? Let's see what happens if maybe Horst makes another move here. Maybe these boys get some momentum. Let's see what happens at that point. I'm really, really hoping we can get there.
Yeah, and then to play devil's advocate, like I talk about all the volume of reports coming out, if they start losing again, if they start getting back to inconsistency again, just know this is the number one spot to be, because we'll have all the coverage on every single report that comes out about Giannis wanting to be traded, because they will inevitably come out when or if the Bucks start losing and this thing flames out pretty early, because then, people start to talk about the tank is on and all this other stuff. And eventually that would seem like a point in the year that it may happen. And the reports would certainly show that. So, I mean, winning will do a lot, and losing will also do a lot, both ways.
Nah, great points by both of you gentlemen. I'm going to say this. His brother's brand is loyalty. I don't know what's more loyalty than having two of your brothers on the roster that probably shouldn't be NBA roster. I don't know what's more loyalty than this city doing everything, but not just the Bucks, the entire city. You got Antanasio from the Brewers letting this dude buy in to be a minority owner. If Milwaukee hasn't given him everything, and if that's still not good enough, and you can't figure it out, but what I don't want him making any more basketball decisions for the Milwaukee Bucks. I want you to go out there, pick that ball up, and be the best player on earth. And the other thing I'm going to say, man, if it's some trade Bobby shit, that brother trade value, yesterday value, done went up a whole lot.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Hey, we what? December 11th? Come on now. Christmas Day? We going to get way more than that under the Christmas. So Kumunga, all of them brothers. I don't want Draymond Green. Keep your raggedy ass in Golden State. We don't want you. We don't want nothing about you.
Yeah, hell no. The last thing I say is I think we will know, and I think we will know quickly what the Bucks' feelings are about Giannis by what they do, because they're gonna have. And this is why maybe Sean's report makes some sense, because when he talked about the Bucks need to have there needs to be a solution. Remember that conversation where there needs to be a solution? Like, there needs to be a solution within the next couple of weeks, which again, you're about to come up on those. And I say that because the deadline's in February. The Bucks have to know what Giannis is doing to know whether they're going to be buyers or sellers. And I don't think they can afford from December 15th on through 2 months about his trade before the trade deadline to be in limbo and not know what direction they want to go. Because if you're trading Giannis in season, you have to your thought process has to totally change because your team changes. So you can't go try to make a trade for guys that can help you. I don't want to say help you win, but for guys that can play with Giannis, that fit a team that Giannis would be on, and try to help this team, a Giannis-led basketball team, for 2 weeks later for you to then move Giannis. So I do think you will be able to tell by either the Bucks' moves or lack of moves around the end of December, around Christmas, as to what the Bucks are feeling. And I think if you don't see moves made into December, January, that either they don't have this worked out or there may be a Giannis trade potentially coming. If not, I don't know. I just think you have to have because I think it's twofold. I don't think you can sit and wait until the deadline to make a move with some of the things we've seen for this team. Yeah. From a rebounder perspective, you got to get somebody in. I'm not saying you have to do it December 15th on the dot when a bunch of guys are available, but I think you have to make this move. I don't think it's one of those things where you can wait to the deadline and just, everybody, all these moves get made in the 48 hours up to the deadline. I think it's got to happen much sooner than that. So I think they are going to have to figure out rather quickly, is Giannis, are you going to be here or do we need to look to move you? And then you can make your moves accordingly with building out your roster for the rest of the year.
Can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Can I ask y'all one question before we go to Twitter? And my bad, JT, I'm going to cut you.
You good?
Out of all the trade speculation, which one would you do if your feet were put to the fire? And I don't want to trade Giannis, but I got one after all y'all go.
If my feet were put to the fire, I'm doing the one Atlanta, Jaylen Johnson. Again, because, and I'd say this real quick, just because you got to get somebody that wants to be here. Yeah. You can't just get a guy, a mercenary. You got to get somebody who wants to be here. And I think that, that hometown kind of thing gives you that feel. But if you have my feet to the fire again, I'd probably say, and I would not like this as much, but the Miami thing, when it's the hero, it's another guy from Milwaukee. And, I think you want that versus random player that is just looking for the next contract and wants to get out of here. So, again, if you have my feet to the fire, I'm going to say to Jaylen Johnson, whatever else from Atlanta, and then you got to find a way to give me 5-6 picks.
So, I feel like I'm the only person on Bucks Twitter who feels like I want Giannis if he leaves here in the Western Conference. I do not want Giannis in the Eastern Conference at all. I do not want him standing in the way of this new team trying to get to the final. Like, I would want Giannis in the Western Conference, and Trey and I talked about it earlier. There's not a ton of teams where it really makes a ton of sense in the Western Conference, but too bad. That's my first thing. I trade that man to the other side of the country. Like, that's not, we're not going to do that. That's my first thing. The second thing is the combination of picks and players. Are you going for another elite player? Are you going for, 2 above average guys and just more draft compensation? You got to figure out what's in the best interest of the team. The other thing with that, though, when it comes to draft picks is if you're trading him to a team, I don't want a bunch of draft picks in the 20s. What are we going to do with that? That absolutely not. I'm not going to trade him to a team that's already a playoff team. So we get 6 draft picks that are likely going to be picks 27 or later. That does nothing for us. That does not. The only thing that does is give us picks to package to maybe get somebody else. But if you don't move a franchise guy, why we got to do all that? So I don't know. I just think it's a bit more complicated when you really start thinking about it. I haven't found one I like. I've seen a whole lot that I don't. I'll put it to you like that. I've seen a whole lot. And some of the trades that people are talking about, it's absolutely. Some of these reports and the stuff we're seeing, it's kind of silly.
I was just, no strays. Doesn't make any. Giannis' injury value is not as high as yet. That doesn't make any. Maybe he's making a joke. Okay, I'll give it to you. Maybe he's trying to make a joke. But okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, if the San Antonio thing has any legs or whatever, like, you cannot just sit there and say that you're not going to give up Steph Castle for a guy like Giannis. You cannot sit there and say you're not gonna allow Dylan Harper and Steph Castle to be unavailable. Either one of those two. Like, that's just not gonna happen, because then at that point that phone gets hung up by the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you have relatively nobody else that would come in and be
unless you make the Big Vic available. Unless you're doing that.
But yeah, so then I think realistically, then I mean, yeah, I think
crazy.
you're looking at Miami and you're looking at the Atlanta trade. And to me, I would honestly, I like Khalil Ware a lot.
I like him too.
I think he's great. I think he provide a lot of really something we haven't seen in a long time, which is a young, athletic, big man on the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, we haven't seen that past the Brook Lopez era. We haven't seen that past now the Miles Turner era. So I think that would do wonders. And then you're also talking about getting Tyler Hero in there. I think that's a pretty good trade if you add some compensation in there. So I would probably lean a little bit more towards Miami, just because I think this whole Jalen Johnson thing is relatively still rising and still coming about, whereas I think Tyler Hero has been in the league with some experience, played in the finals, right? But yeah, I'd probably go Miami.
I like both the Miami and the Atlanta options, and obviously because the whole Milwaukee connection, right? But I just lean back to something that Caron Butler said when he played for the Bucks. And he said the hardest thing to do is to play in your hometown, and you got a bunch of the homies, you got a bunch of whoever asking for tickets, yada, yada, yada. It's just an immense amount of pressure that what you're not used to. I don't. So I'd probably lean San Antonio, but like Chris said, you got both those guards got to come. Point blank, period. If they're not coming, then it's no deal. Golden State and then I saw something that allegedly, but I know it's a lot of BS out there, right? It's a lot of BS out there. We'll throw in Draymond. Draymond doesn't move the needle to me. So I don't know, man. What about the Hornets? Send them there.
But see, the Hornets. The issue with
everything's makeup, right? Sorry, I mean cut you off. Everything's makeup. All this is makeup because it's all a bunch of speculation. Because I think really Giannis is saying, I want to be here. I ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to believe that. Like, listen, I wore a Brett Favre jersey 2 weeks before he was traded. I didn't believe it was ever going to happen. So, as a young boy, Favre was my GOAT. And, Rodgers he is now. But Giannis is that for me for basketball. So, I'm not going to believe it. But I need Brandon Miller and Con Knipple and and just one first. Just one. I don't need any more. But it got to be about 2032. Because we got to let Giannis go to Greece.
My thing though is that's the other thing. Wherever you trade him, he's got to be willing to sign an extension. So wherever you trade him, he's got to be willing to sign an extension. Teams off the board. That definitely, even if they have the compensation or the capital, that takes a lot of places off the board. That takes I would say the bulk of the East Coast. There's just a lot of teams that you can't seriously entertain trading him to because they're not going to give up that draft capital if they don't have some sort of agreement for him to sign an extension there. Especially when, Trey talked about this too. What would be interesting in the offseason, maybe a team with a new GM. Or maybe it's a team with a GM that's very secure because you're basically mortgaging your short-term future to get Giannis. There's no question about that too. So
what about Phoenix?
Yeah, I don't know. But Phoenix doesn't make sense because why would they get? That's the other thing. If you give up everything to get Giannis, then Giannis is in the same situation. You just got Giannis to put him in the same situation he's in Milwaukee. So you have to be teaming him up with somebody that's already on your team, or else, to me, the whole thing's a waste.
My brother, I want him in that same situation.
I get that, but I don't know what the other team
unless the team is potentially has capital to make multiple moves.
All right. We got to keep this thing rolling. We are approaching midnight on the East Coast. Let's go to Twitter again. We'll like I said, this isn't going anywhere. We'll have plenty of time to discuss it and talk about it as the games, days, weeks move forward. Let's see what they're talking about on the Twitter. At Drew Barringer says games like these show this team, if healthy, can be pretty good. It's just been a struggle to have a fully healthy squad this season. Same story as ever. KPJ is that dude, and a fun night of Kuz mania at Sunk345. So let's be honest, we were lucky the Celtics left the door open tonight. A lot of missed open threes, shot attempts off offensive rebounds. They left on the board. Glad we were able to take advantage of that tonight. I'd rather be lucky than sorry. At BSD Gazelle says this is a much needed win. Everyone played great. NYC Randy says all the players the Bucks hate came up and won. Won us the game. We take that win for sure. Hopefully we can steal a couple more. At the Wisconsin kid says Kuzma and Portis boosting their trade values. Good win. Miles Turner really looks sorry at times. Hopefully we stack some W's in a row. At Porke No Gooey says, do we trade Miles for a wing? And let's do a couple more here. At Gurprit Joe Howes says, that's with Turner's 3 rebounds and cardio Gary with a donut in 32 minutes. And then at _Giannis _ great says, Bucks play with such urgency. I wonder why. Also, I'm still waiting for Miles to be more productive. Bucks didn't pay him all that money to give 4 points and 3 rebounds. And one more. At Steve 236911 says, fire the coach. I don't care about this game. Just fire Doc the dumbass.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you guys a question. And I know we got to move this thing along. Is there a scenario where we see Miles Turner get traded this year?
Yes, there's the scenario. I think is if Giannis gets traded. I can see as even if we just decide, listen, he's not a fit. We can get it here. Maybe we get Kuminga. Maybe we get a couple other guys for him too. Somebody's willing to move. Like, is there a scenario where we get Miles Turner, where we trade Miles Turner? I don't think so because he's not playing well. Again, he has a huge contract. He's not playing well enough to get. He's really not playing well enough to get you anything in return this year. He's just not playing well enough. So I don't know why anybody would give us anything of value with the way Miles Turner's playing. Oh, by the way, Miles Turner also has a 15% trade kicker. So if you trade him, his contract he actually goes up with a 15% that you'd have to pay. So which again, if you're trading him, I'm sure he's gonna want that 15% kicker because he's gonna be very upset and get him a bunch of Legos.
I think Miles' best days are in front of him. He hasn't kind of honed into the system. It's a big culture shock for him right now. And I think that at some point we'll be thanking our lucky stars that we have Miles. I just want to shout out No Strays, though. Shout out to you coming in here with your sorry ass Dunkin' Donuts bullshit and all that other stuff. Go ahead, take that belt to ass and go and ride on and with them terrible ass drivers in Boston. Been there hella times. And the Fenway Franks are overrated, by the way.
Moniker says once Giannis or his agent say I'm not signing an extension with anybody besides New York, his value immediately tanks. But again, we just went over that. I would agree if that's the case. He's not gonna do it. He's not. Because you want to say the other thing that tanks Moniker, his PR that he's worked so hard to work on and again you can tell he's still working in overtime, thinking he's gonna come out as the good guy. So no, he's not gonna say take New York or bust. He's not gonna do it. Again, could he? Yeah, I'm sure he could. He's not gonna. I don't think there's a chance in the world he tries to do that with the Bucks because
I think players are gonna learn from players and agents are gonna learn from the Damian Lillard experience and how
true as well
turned out for him when he tried to force it to the Heat, and 6 months later there was still no movement.
X.
Yeah. All right, let's go to game balls here. A 116. I don't see. Anybody else have any? Do you think anybody else think Miles Turner will get moved by the Bucks before the end of the year, or before the deadline?
No. Again, okay. I echo that, Trey. I do think that it's just going to be hard to get that value back, and also have a team willing to pick up that contract.
I think the other thing that what a lot of Bucks fans that want to move him, and I see it a lot on Twitter, is that you had a dude leave his comfort zone to come to us, and then we move him at his first lackluster or whatever you want to call it year. that sends a message to free agency. And if we're going to truthfully rebuild this thing, why would I come here the first time the dude got here, you got him out of here?
That's true. No, that's an excellent point. I agree. Yeah, I think it would definitely be a bad look if the Bucks were to move on from Miles Turner this quickly. All right, game balls, fellas. 116-101 Bucks beat the Boston Celtics. No strays in here hating because the Boston Celtics got their ass whooped tonight. That's really what it is. Where y'all going, game ball?
He also hating because his coffee is terrible, but I probably might drink that stuff on them sad days. I'm gonna go first. I got a half a game ball, if that's okay with y'all, brothers. I got a 3-way split. How about that? I got to split this joint up 3 ways, man. Yep. Got my boy. There's some big balls. Pause.
There you go.
I'm gonna go KPJ. You got to give it to him because the brother probably played in his last however long he's been back his worst game and came and effed around and got a triple double, right? And then I got to split it. Big Bob and Big Kuz. All y'all folks, we seen y'all. Y'all called me delusional all last year. I said Kuz could be better than what he was, blah, 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 blah. Kuz came out and hooped. And then Big Bob, we just going to stay consistent with it. So, AKA, I'm going to be consistent. AKA, shout out to my tree, in the words of Birdman Delusionals. AKA, hey, man, no strays, belt to your ass. AKA, go drink some coffee. We out. AKA voice back.
Yeah, I'll go Kyle Kuzma because I think that when he chips in along with the contributions of KPJ and Bobby Portis having a good night, guys having good nights all around, really, I think this team can win games like this, beat a good team. It's not going to be every night. I don't expect that. I don't expect us to rip off 8 in a row with this basketball team as it stands right now, but I do think when he brings this type of fire, when he brings this type of – honestly, it was like 3-level scoring because he was knocking down threes, hit a couple of crazy hook shots, and then, scored at the rim. So, yeah, I think he raises the ceiling that this team right now has, and those are on nights where he chooses to bring it. And so I go Kyle Kuzma, a.k.a. what did he say to Jaylen Brown? This ain't a stream, a.k.a. never swing the rock.
Hey.
AKA my Washington days.
I'm torn tonight between Kyle Kuzma and Bobby Portis because I thought that Bobby Portis, especially the way he played that second half and how well and just a lot of big shots, especially when we started opening things up in that fourth quarter and he had those 2 quick threes to start. I mean, Bobby Portis, if you go Kyle Kuzma, I'm going to go Bobby Portis tonight. Bobby Portis, excellent night from him. I mean, we saw what we needed to see. We talked about when Bobby's not hitting shots, there's issues. Well, tonight, that was not a problem, sir. We got Bobby Portis, 26 minutes, 27 points, 11 for 13 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3, 10 boards, no turnovers. Bobby Portis, the funny thing, Bobby Portis didn't have a single assist tonight. And you know what? It didn't matter because our guy showed up big. And Bobby Portis, a.k.a. I can't carry this team, but I'll put y'all on my back from time to time. A.k.a. they call me Bobby Big Shot. A.k.a. I got teammates out there sometimes shaking ass, but I am not. A.k.a. I'm still on some of y'all debit cards.
What did you say? You got teammates shaking ass.
Because Miles Turner was out there. I don't know what Miles Turner was doing. Miles Turner was out there ass shaking like a cocktail. I don't know what was happening with Miles Turner. He was just, I don't know what Miles had going on, but, there's a couple of them out there. I don't know what they're doing, but, hey, Bobby Portis wasn't. I'll tell you that. I know what Bobby Portis was doing.
What are you doing, big dog?
Hey, no, Bobby Portis getting buckets. That's what Bobby Portis is doing. Bobby Portis out there making shots. Bobby Portis out there making it happen, sparking the rally. Bobby Portis was playing the way we've all expected and seen Bobby play before. Bobby Portis was out there doing his thing tonight. Game ball for him.
Yeah, no, and like we talked about before the show, before we started, I can take a technical foul if you're gonna put up point. If you're gonna go 27 and 10, 11 and 13, I can take a tech from you. My game ball though is gonna go to what they say, the meek will inherit the earth. Kyle Kuzma, man, you know they try to throw him away, cast him astray like a sick dog. And Kyle Kuzma, 31.6 rebounds, 13 and 17 from the field, 1 or 2 from 3. Kuzma again. Hey, I go out and say it, people don't. He is 5,000 times the better player right now than Chris Middleton. It is what it is. You can hate if you want to, but Kyle Kuzma again just shows you got to play the long game. Kuz, that was a good trade. There's no way around it. Kyle Kuzma was, again, you putting everything in the bucket. I thought defense was great. And again, he defended Jaylen Brown all night. Didn't get one streak of Beijing on the jersey. So that's a good night for Kuz. And Kyle Kuzma gets my game ball. AKA, what'd you say, Chris? This ain't a stream. AKA, my mouth's still blue. AKA, cut me down with the one guard all night. AKA, go to the barbershop, tell him give me the Doc Rivers. AKA, I'm gonna enjoy a spotted cow tonight. Kuz, baby. That's my dog.
Justin, I forgot you're not at the crib. You ain't got the jersey up. You're not at the crib though. That's okay. You're in the hotel tonight. Make sure I know Justin's in the hotel for work though. You're in the hotel for work.
If I was at the crib, I might have the underdog hat on tonight, big dog. I might have it on, dog.
Absolutely, man. Again, as Will Lunker said earlier, hit the like button if you enjoyed this win tonight. 116-101. Let's go around the league. Bucks do get a dub. Look around. Nuggets are 17-6. They're up 126-91 over the Sacramento Kings. The Rockets get a dub tonight, 115-113 over the Clippers. Another team we didn't talk about that potentially could have a trade package if you like. Şengün, he had 22, 15, and 5 tonight. Thompson, 20 points, 9 boards, 8 assists. Jabari Smith Jr., 18 points, 10 rebounds. Reed Sheppard with 10 points as well. KD put in 16. They get a 2-point win. Pelicans 143-120 over the Portland Trail Blazers. A good win for that team. I'm trying to see anything that Trey Murphy with 24 points. Derek Queens played well too, 17, 5 and 7, and then Fears 19 points over there. How about Jordan Poole putting on 22 for Portland? Excuse me, for New Orleans. And then your boy Tamani Kamara, 15 points and 5 assists over for Kamara as well on the watch. That's everything in NBA tonight. Of course, just saw we were talking about it. The Atlanta Falcons get a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. Shout out your owner if your team is in first place in the division. And I was watching that Diddy doc, and your boy was on. Suge Knight was on there. You remember when Suge Knight? Source would say, if you don't want your producer all in the video, that's what they look like. If you don't want your owner all up on the sidelines, all up in the game, got to be all again. If you don't want all that, come to Carolina. We ain't trying to. We ain't got to take. They got a
JT, hold on. JT, hold on 1 second. I know you finna go. Hey, Chris King, this is our turn to let these boys go.
I'm done. I ain't gonna take all night today. That's all I gotta say. Hey, I ain't gotta say nothing, but I told you it was coming. Big Sig went too early. She thought, hey, you got what? They say you gotta run through the tape, not to the tape. Big Sig, get your ass back in get your ass back up in that damn.
And then she hired a quarterback her age.
She better get caught in the wrong. She better get caught in the wrong one.
Crazy
she better get caught
about this Phillip Rivers situation.
You better stop.
Is we got that man literally off the couch. It's not like he was in training camp. It's not like here. That brother is off the couch. And let me just tell y'all something. The level of lactic acid probably running through his body right now is insane. I mean, I don't know. So the reason why they got him was because he was in San Diego with Reich and Shane Steichen for a while, and he knows the offense. And I guess his son's high school football team was running the same offense as the Colts offense because he knows it too, and so he knew that back and forth. And they said they got him on the whiteboard. He knew everything.
That'll work.
Well, but fellas, the physical challenges, I just don't know. First off, I don't know. The thing about conditioning is you can't get that overnight. The thing about conditioning is that, like, that takes time. And I'm going to imagine that a 44-year-old man who has not played in 5 years that they took off the couch will likely at some point be completely gassed during that. It's one thing to be a little bit tired. It's another thing to be completely exhausted. And fellas, if somebody pulled you off the couch to play a football game, short of having the kick, I cannot imagine. I mean, the best you can hope for from Phillip Rivers is, listen, man, turn around and hand the ball off, right? When you get tired of handing it off to the right, turn around and hand it off to the left. They cannot let this man get out there and throw 40 passes. Like, there's no.
But that's the thing. You talk about gas. It's been 5 years since he took an NFL hit.
That's what
I'm talking about getting hit.
That's the other thing.
So do we think that he was just like seeing Flacco and Rodgers out there and just started getting that jealousy?
No, so they said that him and Shane Steichen are close. They talk 2 times a week. They've been talking 2 times a week. And the story was that after the game, after Daniel Jones got hurt, Riley Leonard played, they knew he has a knee issue going on. They was like, I guess Steichen said to Ballard, like, you think we should hit up Phil? And Ballard was like, I mean, give it a shot here. So they went down and they talked to him. And Phillip Rivers at first was like, give me a couple days to think about this or whatever. Then they had conversations. They set the jet down. He came in. He had a throwing session. They say, oh, the arm still looks strong. Oh,
well, I saw it. But I saw it. He was throwing them noodles to me.
Well, the thing is, it's hard to tell because the motion is so weird. And I agree with you. The throws that I saw, I don't know if that was just during a warm-up period. Like, the reporters are only allowed in practice, which makes sense in practice.
The angles is off.
But, like, I just have a hard time believing that arm is still strong. And, again, it's one thing for an arm to be strong for a throw or, right. or it's one thing for an arm to be strong 20 throws against air, right? You're just throwing this thing against air. It's another thing when there's actual pressure and you got to get your footwear. You got to do. I don't know. I mean, you can't tell me that in his throwing workout, unless it was in full pads and there was pressure there, that he worked as hard as he would in a game. I mean, to me, I feel like 10 passes against air versus 10 passes in a game with an actual defense. That's not the same thing. That is not.
JC, how would you say that fool was?
44.
I'm 43. Let me tell you something. Let's go down this old Unk lane for a second, right? Because he Unk with me. I'm a Cleveland golfer. I ain't no football player. I go out there with the young boys. I can't hit that 7-iron as far as what I used to. It's golf. Ain't nobody coming at me trying to knock my head off. I got to go to that 6-iron when them boys hitting that 8-iron now, bro. Hey, homie over his head. He gonna get it knocked off.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
one last point. Oh, that homie Guru, he waiting on it. He got Big Sig. He got the music tuned up. He can't wait. And he told you this 6 weeks ago when y'all was here. He coming.
Listen, man, I'm not. Listen, if Phillip Rivers can win 2 games and get the boys to 10 wins, hey, I mean, all you need Phillip Rivers to do is win 10. All you need him to do is win 2 out of what they got 4 left. They got 8 and 5. They got 4 games left. They just need to win 2 games. Phillip Rivers don't have nothing to do with that defense. There's best case scenario. This can work temporarily. My concern is Rivers is only back for 1 game. It's like, nah, I'm good. And then what do you do at that point? Now you start. Yeah. Like, my concern is that Rivers is back for 1 game and realizes about 2.5 quarters in, after that defense start hitting him, after he's on, hey man, hey, this game speed feel a little fast out here.
Who y'all?
You know what I mean? Like I just feel like he out there looking like Chris Paul, who was out
Who
there
y'all
looking
got
like
this
Chris
week?
Paul.
Who y'all
And-
got?
You said what?
Who y'all got the next couple weeks? Next three.
Seattle, San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
Jacksonville.
go ahead, hang it up.
And I think Houston again.
Hey,
boy-
man, Jacksonville and Houston got crazy defense.
Oh, hey, listen, we're in bad shape. There's no question in my mind that that again, can he steal too? It's the NFL. It can certainly happen. But the Colts,
He might retire on the sideline, bro.
that's my concern. My concern is they're doing all this to get him prepped, all this to get him ready. And they've got the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Jaguars, and the Texans. That's my concern is you're doing all this to get him ready. And that man get out there and get hit a couple times. Oh, my back, my knee, or he get hit and he can't get up, right?
So
like, it's a big difference.
We got the $1 million question for the Cream City crossover, right?
And he looked like he gained about 20 pounds, 20 to 25 minimum since when he played in 2020.
Hey, man, that church wine put on them pounds. Hey, got a question, though. 2 games you said, right? 2. 1-2. He win 2. You pulling out that black Carolina jersey?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Listen, man, I'm a Colts fan, but my team has done nothing but embarrass me over this last 5. From hiring Jeff Saturday to everything.
Jeff Saturday hire was crazy. That probably is still worse than bringing in Phillip Rivers.
And you know what the best part about the Jeff Saturday hire is? They hired Jeff Saturday so they can tank to get a QB, and they go and get Anthony Rick.
Which is crazy because you can't even go back to him because he done. I don't understand how you break your eye with a damn
warm-ups.
With a damn.
There's some ugly women in Indianapolis, some cousin, sister, friends.
Don't get me started. Oh, we signed Shavarius Ward in the offseason. Big contract. Yeah. Okay, he just had his 3rd concussion this year. Oh, okay.
Yeah, same. What you signed?
We got
Sauce Gardner.
We signed. You know what gets me about Sauce Gardner? Sauce Gardner is an all-pro player, blah, blah, blah. You know how many career picks Sauce Gardner has?
How many?
3. Sauce Gardner has 3 career interceptions. Listen, man, if I'm giving up 2 first-round picks.
But see, they don't throw to him a lot, though.
No, listen.
Yeah, that's true. Shut down that.
I don't know if they don't throw
That's
to
the
him.
robber's job. That's the safety job.
But I do feel like as a shutdown corner that somebody's giving up that kind of capital and what you're getting paid for, you have to be able to get turnovers. You just have to be able to get turnovers. Like you can't be, no, I ain't about to cash you out and I'm not about to have all these expectations, give all this compensation for a guy who cannot get turnovers. I don't need no lead at that point. At that point, like, no, my point behind all this is now he's hurt with a calf injury that's everybody get nervous with a calf injury because you don't want that to be the Achilles. It's just like, man, these dudes, I can't.
Can I make 2 quick points real quick? So, first of all, for all y'all still with us in the chat, this is why T's and Q's is the best show ever on Saturday. No casuals around here. These boys watch the games. They watch the social medias. They watch everything and they reported on it. Secondly, my other point, I got a question for the guru. What you call that owner again? Big what?
Big Sig.
Big Sig pulled that trigger, homie. You gonna have to smoke that sugar honey iced tea.
Y'all wouldn't get drinks from Big Sig if she was trying to keep you.
Don't group me in with that. Don't group me in with that. I'm not sending the LinkedIn message either. I'm
not talking about.
Get him, Chris.
Again, I ain't talking about asking her what's up with the what's up. I'm talking about like the Big Sig was trying to kick it. And Big Sig was trying to kick it, like get to know it, like on some networking type. Man, I'll be in there rapping the. Come on,
yeah.
Y'all.
See, go ahead and sponsor Cream City crossover though. Money to the Bucks.
What if Paige Shiver was trying to kick it?
See, Paige Shiver. You know what?
Let's go to Sharon Moore. Of course, we got to get to that before we get out of here. Michigan, former Michigan head coach. Of course, everybody's heard the story by now. Messing with the assistant on staff, gave her a $50,000 raise. So he's messing with her for a while. And then what ends up happening, of course, she threatens him. And I'm still not all. Let me say this. I didn't read the whole. I'm not all. So you can fix up whatever I getting wrong here. She was pregnant. Did she like get an abortion? I'm not.
The story I saw is that it could have been a different woman that he had.
So he was out here in the streets, got a wife and 3 kids in the streets, and then she, I guess, threatens him, and then he blows up even further because then he gets so stressed out, he starts talking about he thinking about he gonna kill himself, and now they got to get rid of you now, and then you go to her place or somebody's place, you got knives out.
When he threatened to harm himself allegedly.
Yeah. Police had to come get him.
First it was the actual wife that he was threatening to unalive himself, and then goes over to the mistress's house, and does the same thing. So and then got intercepted at a church. went to a church, I believe. And they found his phone location there. The wife gave it to the cops.
Well,
so can we go back to the JT dating advice and what you should bring and all this stuff? I think this is a perfect time for the JT dating advice because we ain't had that joint since we was talking about them Indiana people dating their cousins and stuff. So let's do it.
You know what? But you can't even couple that because this is like a what not to do with Sharon, right? Like Sharon literally. The fact that you had her on staff, and like Trey said, it seemed like it was going on for a while, and he's traveling with her, and it just called everything into question. But here's the problem I have with this. You just saw Mel Tucker lose $90 million in your for this type of foolishness at Michigan State. You just saw Mel Tucker coming off a 10-win season, get this big extension, and see $80 million effectively go up in smoke. Not really. I'm sure there was probably a settlement. I don't know what happened there.
Udoka, like James Moore said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just saw that happen. And so to do this with a staffer on the team, but here's what's really crazy about it. This man was outside, all like OnlyFans models was like, hey, this dude was in my DMs, whatever. Like he was shooting, he was following, he was doing all. So you were outside. And yet you got caught up with somebody on your staff, brother. Like, listen, I'm not going to judge a man for what you do. He's a married guy. He's got kids. I don't know how him and his wife kick it. I have no idea. But what I do know is that if you outside and you looking at different things, right, and you have your job here, you got a problem if you carry it on with somebody on your staff, too. It's not like it was just a proximity thing and you needed something new. You was like, man, me and wife not spending time like that. This is available here. I'm just going to go and see if I can make something work. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You get it, right? I could understand if that was the case, but no. You was going crazy shooting at OnlyFans models, shooting at all these random women too, and the girl in your staff. It's just like, you just had to touch the stove. Oh, I didn't get a hold of my coat. I'm going to lean up against the stove this time. It's like, Sharon, this makes absolutely no sense. And then they talked about him having mental health issues as well, and now
he got a mental health. He got caught. He was fine. He was fine till it. But it was because this thing. It sounded like when they talking about they knew about the mental health issues. This was people. There were people on Twitter who had this like a month in advance.
Yes.
So this stuff was bubbling up, and I think and then you lose Ohio State, and everybody like, you know what? Let's go ahead and put it out there for the world to see. So. Yeah, I think it was one of it was bubbling. It was gonna happen, and I think that's probably when he knew the writing. Like just talking about Giannis, the writing on the wall. The writing was on the wall. He should have started negotiating the exit early instead of waiting till late, and now you ain't got no money.
Well, and that's the thing is that there is a chance when you talk about fired for cause because they're saying they're terminating for cause, and then they came out and said, well, he's got mental health, he had this. If he had a disability, whatever it was, he didn't have his 88 people rating, whatever. Like, it sounds like he's going to try to contest that because again, was it like $20 million is up in the air or whatever, riding out on this or whatever he's not going to get. But this is just a crazy, crazy situation, and what you hope. See, I don't understand. And Trey, we talked about this earlier too. Apparently, the girl had gone to the administration with proof. Like the story I saw is the girl had gone to the administration with proof and said, look, I've been having an affair with this guy, blah, blah, blah. My boss or whatever this is she had gone to them and they had known about this for a little while, or
Well, the story I saw was that they asked her and him about it. They both denied it.
No, but they said like she had gone recently. They know. They said the story that I read was she had gone recently and said this. And the only question, I mean, I'll have to try to find it. But the only question I have is, if you're Sharon and you've been outside and you wild, how did you not take the off ramp to just say, you know what, I'm gonna resign. Maybe we'll negotiate a really small buyout here. Let me resign, spend time with my family, so I can at least take advantage of my Michigan job, and now I can go get a job as head coach in a year at a Group of 5 or not as good for, and like you keep this thing going, because now your biggest benefit was you're the head coach of Michigan. You're not going to be there forever, but your next gig is going to be pretty dope if you do a decent job there. And now congratulations, you played yourself. You played yourself all over 30 bands. What he gave that girl a $32,000 raise in the offseason. She went from like 58,000 to 90 bands. And like, I don't know. I mean, when you look at Paige, she's probably very nice, right? She's probably very nice, but like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Sharon Wilder.
And I don't get the role. What is the executive assistant to the head football coach?
You know what that is?
You know exactly what that is.
Exactly, yeah. She was assistant to the head coach.
Brother, that's the job. Well, you know what the job description is for the executive assistant? Other duties as assigned. That is exactly what you're looking at there, right?
Meet me around back.
Other duties as assigned. Hey.
She must book the hotel rooms.
Right. On call.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, this is an insane crash out, guys. Like, this is unreal. The fact that he had essentially, I mean, you have one of the basically born on third base is what they all say, right? Jim Harbaugh, who knows if this guy ever gets a head coaching job without the Jim Harbaugh run and essentially just handing off the job within the staff. And you find a way to fumble that, that's just ridiculous to me. I mean, I don't know exactly what his roles were before, but the fact that they won a national championship, he leaves. He became the interim, I think it was a suspension he served that year. Harbaugh served that year, and he won a couple games. And, I'm not going to say he didn't earn it, but, like, I mean, relatively, I mean, what else did he do? What else is he known for? I don't know. And you go in there, you get the number one quarterback in the country. They pay him all this money. You don't unlock him. Was he really even a great football coach at the end of the day? I don't know. That's being up for debate with Michigan fans. But, like, this guy had everything, and then just immediately bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Did you guys see his following list on Instagram? Like, that's wild.
Wow, and that's my thing is
it's public.
Because Christian, you're right. He got the job. The best part about this is the way he got this job was Jim Harbaugh left for the Chargers, and then they decided to keep it in-house. But how he really got this job was off of vibes. Everybody feeling good. We just won a national championship. Our coach bounced. Yeah, Sharon was the OC. Yeah, we'll keep it going. We don't need no long search. We got a guy that can get this thing done. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell I had questions about that from the jump, and I think all of us probably did. Like, I don't know about this, right? Especially after he did his first interview after the game and started crying and was wild. Like, hey, bro,
I do remember
we got to be a bit more measured than that, sir. We got to be a bit. Anyway.
So my only issue is that if it's truthfully mental health, God speaks to you and all that stuff. But what I feel like we're doing in current day is if we F up, we're going to lean on the mental health stuff to kind of scapegoat the bullshit we got going on over there. And that's not cool, man. But look, I ain't gonna get into a lot of the other stuff, but my heart goes out to his kids, man, because they ain't deserve this, man. Them 3 kids that you allegedly whatever, they're innocent bystanders, and now they're caught up in this mix. And one of y'all mentioned that he should have reclused his job before he had the opportunity to go through all this turmoil. Because now, homie, if D. Jackson go out there to Sacramento State with Shaq and them boys, they'll say they ain't calling you, homie. And we ain't calling you in the CIAA either. Gone.
That's what I'm saying. Now that you've messed with a staffer, and the real stories are going to keep coming out here. I mean, all that stuff. If he gets charged and whatever he gets charged with, the trial and the transcript. Right now, you're radioactive. Nobody can touch you. Like you can't even. I mean, the best you might be able to do.
What?
Some private coaching. You might be able to do something like that. But I think
Jimmy Harbaugh,
consultant for a team, you might be able to be a consultant, but you can't be on a single college campus with stuff like this now. You can't.
Jimmy Harbaugh is the only one that can save him, and he can put him up there.
He put him on. Yeah, he can put him on the Chargers staff.
That's invisible to the media.
He can look out. He can look out for the Chargers staff. But but. I just think Sharon.
Who the aunt? You or me? Who the real aunt?
I just think Sharon blew it all, and I can't. I mean,
he did.
I can't blame this on Paige as much, right? Because from a legal perspective, as Trey, our residential labor and employment attorney, would say, the org chart. If you're a superior and somebody's here, hey brother, you were always going to take that L. Like you are always going to take that L unless.
And don't be surprised if the mental health, all the anguish, stress, she start claiming it too, and Michigan State got to pay her as well. But again, they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money to pay her because since they're not going to pay Sharon the rest of his salary.
Sharon, listen, man, and I agree with what Justin's talking about. When you use mental health. Mental health becomes the catch-all. That is the social parachute for whatever drama you run into. Man, my mind wasn't right. My mental health ain't right? People say that. But there's a difference between needing mental health or needing help with your mental health and reading that damn Bible. And for Sharon, that soul ain't right. That's his problem. Sharon's problem is this. That man's soul ain't right. That's your issue. You ain't got no damn mental health issue. But no, this is just an embarrassing crash out. And I am just amazed that Michigan, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to be in the state of Michigan, the only state in America besides Arizona who had 2 African-American coaches at the flagship institution, and both of these went in there and acted a damn fool. And it's a whole controversy, Ryan Clark, which I'm not going to get into. But, fellas, y'all just weren't happy with underachieving. You had to get out there and show your entire ass by messing with people on the staff. Come on, man. Mel Tucker and Sharon.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then I see some of the comparisons to Lane Kiffin, and it's like, well, at least Lane divorced his wife. at least Lane Kiffin divorced his wife, and at least he didn't hire somebody on the football staff to be executive assistant to the head football coach. At least he was hiring babysitters for the Venmo. That's
wow. Because Lane Kiffin allegedly was outside too at Ole Miss. Was the Lane files or people?
Lane files.
And Lane Kiffin was out there wilding. But at least he had enough damn sense, like you said, Chris, to not be married because that doesn't play well in that region. If you out there, if you outside and you married like that, and at least he had enough sense to try to cover it up and be smooth with it and to kind of know. He found his honey hole, so to speak, right?
Honey hole is crazy.
He found his private well where he could basically go get what he needed from, and it seemed to work until he left. And the whole yoga studio was like, "Yo, let me tell you what." Passing gas and like knocking girls over and just doing random curls while he was doing stuff. And Lane's something else.
So I probably think, and I know Lane's was bad, but I probably think the worst is I feel like his name was Mark Godfrey from NC State. He was allegedly out here on these 919 streets, but he was sleeping with ex-alumni players' wives, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all allegedly, right? All allegedly. This takes the cake, though. Because that dude, I mean, bro, like, sometimes you just got to take your L and go home. And if you took your L and go home, there might be a spot at, no disrespect to anybody, West Virginia State, Shaw University. Always got to throw them under the bus. In those schools, no one will hire you. D1, D2, D3. You have essentially dug your tomb. As the Undertaker said, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But here's the question I have though, and like I think one, as much as we know these coaches now, as much as they obsess over football, they eat, sleep, drink, breathe football. You hear about the coaches that are in the office from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, 11 p.m. at night. How did you?
Yeah, they said he DM'd somebody at halftime of a game.
That was the
Ohio State game.
Like, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, at some point, you would have to think that like
That's why they couldn't win.
Coaching performance.
Right. Had to. No way about it. No way about it.
You a lawyer. You got to say allegedly.
Alleged, right? That's what I'm saying. Like alleged, you would think this. You just would think that this had to impact.
I don't care. Sue me.
Coaching performance. You know, like I mean,
I got faith in you.
It's just unbelievable. And if you're Ohio State, I mean, you're loving it right now. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This level of embarrassment that this man has brought this program. I wonder who they hire though. I've seen some names for Michigan, and I've seen some names that were pretty interesting.
John Gruden.
Is it Alabama thing AI? That's not real.
I've seen Alabama. Ken and the board tweeted out, "I'm staying in Alabama. I'm not going."
I'm telling you, they need to call John Gruden.
You know what? I saw Luke Fickell mentioned as a name, and I was
take him.
I saw Jed Fish from Washington, former Arizona coach. Absolutely not. That's not going to get it.
They're talking Kenny Dillingham if all hell breaks loose. I don't know how good that'd be for them.
But are Michigan people going to go for that?
I don't think so. Probably not.
I think Michigan
have a
that
choice?
would be settling. They have to hire a big name though.
What about Sarkisian?
Yeah. John Gruden.
But he's not a Michigan man. That's the problem with Sarkisian. He's not a Michigan man though.
Yeah.
They don't. They shit's in disarray. They don't got a choice.
Here's a name that would go absolutely crazy. Urban Meyer. They would go absolutely crazy if Urban Meyer is a coaching at Michigan.
I don't think he does it. I think
Chris, how would you say
Ohio again? He could never step foot in Ohio again.
Yeah,
what about Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame?
Chris, how would Ohio feel about that?
Urban Meyer, nope, it would be disbelief. They wouldn't believe that Urban Meyer would ever take the Michigan job. He takes too much pride in going 7-0 versus them, and he's got a broadcasting career, man. I think that sometimes that suffices.
What about my man from Oregon, Dan Lanning?
I don't think they're going to be able to poach those big time guys.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're going to be able to poach Dan Lanning. I don't think they're going to be able to poach even a guy like, who was it, Kalen DeBoer. Like they may miss on him because I gaze from the Midwest, but yeah, you're talking about. I mean, they definitely have Larry Ellison who will pay whatever, but at the end of the day, like at what point are you just leaving just to leave from Alabama to Michigan? Like that's the premier job still.
I got a sleeper for you, JT.
Because Alabama, let me tell you who's not going to get that call. Brian Kelly is not going to get that call. And let me also, but here's the thing though, and I make this. I do think Alabama. I don't think Alabama's a good job because you can never live up to the expectations. You can never live up to the expectations that one man set. And
like if they lose next Friday, I could see it. I could see it happening. If they lose Oklahoma on next Friday, I could see
What about Buddy from Army?
I got a sleeper.
Monkey.
I got a sleeper.
Todd?
Jim Leonard.
What's his name? You said
Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard.
Where's Jim Leonard?
Wisconsin people, man.
Yeah, man.
I heard Matt Campbell floated around. That's what those guys want. Taylor Lewan wants Matt Campbell in the building.
We just signed with Penn State.
Is it Matt Campbell? I think maybe. There's somebody else maybe. Somebody, I don't know who it was. I don't know. I got to check again. But somebody. Let me see. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of names that fly out there. They've got to make the right hire though. Like it's desperate times.
Yep, absolutely. Desperate, 100% desperate times. Good.
I got one last look around, but I'm just gonna say, man, we throwing a bunch of names out there. I'm always about hiring Chris King. That's all I want to say. Hire Chris King. Pay this man. And by the way, fire Al Michaels and hire one of his students, please. Please fire that man. He 100,000 years old. He don't know what the hell he talking about. He worse than me. If I'm Unc, he great grandpa. Hey, but look around real quick. I was out there at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, how Howard Bryson do?
With the Guru's alma mater.
What they do?
I know my young boy Q Doubles listening. He ain't gonna comment. We was in the building. I put a little bit of money on the Howard Bison.
Good man.
They paid me some money.
Yeah.
I lied to my young bro. I told him I bet on A&T. I really bet on Howard.
Yeah,
Howard.
Go ahead.
They got a boy from Greece. He ain't Giannis. He's sloppy as hell, but he getting buckets. This is the most unathletic 19-8 and 5 I've ever seen in my life. But the Howard Bison went into that old long-nosed cheating bastard's house, Coach K, and got a win. But hey, we gotta talk about one thing real quick before I go, man. Trey Crosby, terrible alumni. He got them boys out there in that Payless ass Jordan shit. That shit looked terrible. That shit Trey wouldn't wear. Shaka Smart, we the worst basketball team in America. Shaka said, "Hey, send that shit to Howard."
Hey, don't hate on our Jordan. Don't hate on our Jordan sponsorship brand, man. Don't hate on our Jordan marketing deal. Like I said, man, we only care about the wins. We don't care about what we look like when we show up to the arena.
Real HU though, that's all we gonna say. The real HU. Hey, that boy from Duke, y'all coach. Hey, he got them boys ready. They play.
Oh yeah, the coach. Yeah, I like him.
National champion, 2-time national champion. Excuse me. Great basketball game, man. Shout out to Durham, North Carolina, Duke University putting on a great basketball game, man. And Guru's alma mater. Belt to ass on North Carolina A&T, man. Sorry, Quincy.
Yeah, you talking about Kenny Blakeney.
Yeah, JT, they did say it was Matt Campbell. They wanted to see how dry the ink was on that Penn State contract. So.
Ooh.
Wow. It ain't no way. That ain't happening.
Yeah, probably not.
Anything else? Anything else for look around as we quickly approach 1 a.m. on the East Coast? I feel like we're on for 2 hours tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Giannis. He did it.
We went a little too hard tonight, fellas.
Yeah. We
Had
had to
back in a while.
It was first game back. Bucks get a win tonight. Everybody, 116-101. Shout out to the chat still being in here as well. People staying up with us and staying around for the for Cream City crossover look around. 116-101. Bucks beat the Celtics. Give one more time. Any final thoughts as the Bucks beat the Celtics tonight and advance? Let's get to 11-15 on the year. And let's see. And they're still 10th in the standings. And they are wow. I didn't realize they're still 3.5 games out of 9th. But they are squarely in the play-in. Gonna need to string some wins together. But any thoughts on a big win tonight against the third ranked in the Eastern Conference Boston Celtics?
Man, love to see it. Let's see a little bit more with the let's see another one against the Nets. Let's get some momentum going. One thing we've not had all year is that. Let's get momentum going. Let's build on this. And keep stacking, fellas.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable. You got to go win against the Nets. Like, I'm not having it any other way. Because if not, you're going to see 5 more reports the next day.
KPG said we're coming with 8-9 in a row, so I believe in that, brother. He's the only fingernail polish dude I rock with, so let's go. Hey, shout out to Caleb Williams with that L, though. I ain't had no voice to tell you, but
KPJ got fingernail polish on too?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he like an anime kind of. It's like,
but he gang with it. He blackmails. He ain't with that go pack go on this girl.
What did you say? He's what with it?
Who, me?
I might have missed something.
I said he gang with it. He got the blackmails.
He gang with it.
You breaking news?
I thought you said. I know you said he's gang with it. Okay, I got you.
He ain't with them French. He ain't with them French. He went to French tips throwing picks to Keyshawn Nixon, best quarterback in the league.
I thought you said about to get us canceled, right?
I'm all for individual expression, but I think
gang with it.
And I'm not saying that he would do this, but painted nails is one thing, lace shirts is another. And
got him.
you know, I don't think he's been in that. I'd be concerned if I see that. If he showed a lace shirt, man, okay. But you know what?
Shedeur had a thong on.
He ain't had no thong on.
He ain't had no what on? He had a thong? No, he ain't had no thong on.
He had back tape. It was back tape.
Just
Hey,
you
right,
look-
right.
go look it up.
He had tape. It was tape on his back. They already
This why-
talked about it.
This is why you need to fire Shams and hire Chris King. That's the type of stuff we looking for right there.
He had
Brother.
tape. He had tape on his lower back, JC.
Brother, now listen, I'm gonna be straight with you. I got questions about it, man. I can't imagine. Like, you remember when you guys play? You guys all play football, right? At some point.
Yeah.
You remember the jock strap? That shit had your ass out. Like, yeah,
We had the girdles.
Hey, hell, you saw Mike Tyson, man. What you saw Mike Tyson walking around?
I couldn't even. The jock. It just felt so weird. You had your cheeks out. So I used to just have a girdle. I was like, fuck it, I got the girdle. I can't wear the jock strap. I gotta wear the girdle because that shit is weird. Like, you just got your.
Interesting note. We're ending on with the thongs and the Shedeur.
He got a girdle too with his fat ass.
116-101. Bucks beat the Celtics tonight. That's how we'll end it. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Again, if you enjoyed tonight's win, if you enjoyed tonight's program, please hit that like button on your way out of the Cream City crossover. Again, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. Staying with us on a long night, Thursday night. And enjoying this Milwaukee Bucks victory and talking about all the things that we got into on a night like this. Kuzma with 31, Bobby 27, a lot of good stuff happened, and you were along for the ride, so we appreciate it. Please tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend about the Cream City crossover. It is the best Milwaukee Bucks postgame show in all of the land. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Group Alert.
JT.
Chris King.
Justin.
If I am your enemy, it's only because I dare tell you the truth. Don't take no wood nickels. Kurt.